I'm happy. There's nothing wrong with me.
Sure.
And honestly speaking, I feel like Jesus has been so amazing in teaching me the difference between singleness and being alone and singleness and being lonely.
Sure.
So I'm not lonely in terms of I feel loved. I have love. People love me.
Yep.
But I am alone because I'm not attached to someone.
Sure.
So I think we need to be very careful. I'm alone because I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a husband. But I'm not lonely because I have community.
Dope. Welcome back to the Gospel Coalition Africa podcast. Still your host, Black Newborn. This is part 2 of our singleness conversation. As I promised, we're going to have the guy's perspective. If you haven't seen it, go watch part 1. And this is the ladies' perspective on singleness. Hey, part 2. And we have another special guest with us. Nyaleti, how do you say your name?
Nyaleti.
Nyaleti.
Yes. So the NYE is together.
Nyaleti.
Yes.
Not Nyaleti.
No.
Nyaleti.
Yes.
What does it mean?
It means star in Xitsonga.
Star?
Yes.
Oh, like Nkanyezi. Nyaleti.
Okay.
I mean,
just like Nyaleti.
It sounds. I hear you.
Yes.
For those who don't know who Nyaleti is, do you want to just tell us who you are, what you do, where you from?
Okay.
Are you from Venda?
Okay. So, I'm Tsonga.
Nice.
Which means I'm from Limpopo.
Yes.
I was born originally in Guyana. I spent the first 6 years of my life there. Then we moved to Gauteng. So my mom worked this side, and then we came this side. And
that's the north of South Africa.
The north of South Africa. We're in Limpopo, we're our own country.
Okay, we see you.
But I recognize none of this part of we're our own country. So I moved from my country to the rest of South Africa.
Where's your passport?
It's there, it's ready. Don't worry. It's like Cyril is doing the things. Anyways, so I've lived in Gauteng for a little over, I think, 22 years now.
Okay.
But Limpopo is always home.
Yeah.
And I am a qualified journalist by profession.
Yes.
But I work as an editor full-time.
Yep.
And part of technical stuff in television on Newsroom Africa.
Okay.
That's what I do now.
That's dope. Why did you get into that?
So initially I wanted to be a photojournalist. And
wow, I didn't know that.
No, that was how I got into journalism.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool. So in between trying to be a photojournalist, studying journalism, being behind the camera, how did Jesus penetrate through all of that to reach you?
So my grandmother is the, I want to say Zina of the family in terms of Jesus.
For those who don't know who Zina is, she was this warrior woman.
Warrior princess.
Yay, she was
doing the thing.
Oh, she was the best Popeye ever.
So, literally, how Zina was in terms of defending her people and her tribe, that's how she was about the gospel.
Wow.
So, in the first week of varsity, she called me every day. Nyaleti, wakhongela. Uhlaya bibele.
Yes.
Unandawo yokhongela, unabandawo yokhongela kunabona.
Yes.
And I think I was about 3 months in.
Yeah.
Eddie did a talk about I think it was 2 ways to live. I can't remember the actual sermon topic that it was on, but I remember it was 2 ways to live, and it was talking about how we either live for this world or we live for the world to come.
Sure.
And I think at that moment I felt an understanding. There wasn't angels and God didn't go, "Ooh, my child, did you get that?"
Yeah.
It was just I think an understanding of, okay, this is for real. This Jesus guy is for real.
Yeah. Zina is quite influential in your life. I hope your grandmother doesn't watch this, and I just keep on calling her Zina. But talking about singleness, I just want to know what her thoughts are when it comes to you being a single lady at your age in an African family. But we'll get to that. I was just like, so in case you're like, oh, this is boring, don't leave. What would you define singleness as? Like,
I think for me, singleness is always being. Okay, maybe let me define it this way. Singleness is non-married state.
Sure.
Because I think a lot of people think, oh, not a boyfriend, therefore you're not single.
Yes.
I don't remember going to Home Affairs and there being a box to say single by yourself,
yes,
single but dating, single but in a situation.
Sure.
And then almost sort of kind of single, and then you get married, divorced, widowed.
Sure.
Single is any state outside of marriage.
Sure.
And I think the reason I want to be clear on that definition is because a lot of people go, oh, Mara, single mugel. Can I hook you up with my friend? He's very nice. Like, he loves Jesus.
Sure.
Or, because that my friends always do that. Or, but does he really need to love Jesus? Like, he's got a good job, Choma. But Jesus will come. And so it's weird.
Sure.
That my definition of me or my womanhood or who I am needs to be, do you have a man?
That's whack.
And it's it really is, because I feel like I'm single but I'm not alone. I've got people, I've got friends, I've got family.
That's good.
And it's a weird thing that people just single.
I mean, speaking about that, what are some of the stigmas that people put on you?
So
as somebody who's single,
they always say, "Are you gonna be the cat lady?" Which is you got die alone.
That's horrible.
Cats, and I'm okay with it because always I'm asthmatic, so the cats are out. So don't worry about that.
Sure.
And there's always an inherent assumption that I'm lonely. Oh,
define that for us. So you're single but not lonely.
Yes.
Yeah. What is that? I've heard people say that.
So I have a healthy relationship with friends.
Sure.
I have male friends, I have female friends, I have married friends. I have situationship friends. They are together but you're not sure what's really happening. And that for me means I'm single, but I'm with people.
Sure. That's good.
There are friends that are single who understand my situation. There are friends who are married who sometimes understand the situation, but sometimes it's just like, oh, friend, what's happening? And there are friends who are in a situationship that are just like, just get someone.
Sure.
And that becomes a weird conversation to tell them I'm okay. I'm happy. There's nothing wrong with me.
Sure.
And honestly speaking, I feel like Jesus has been so amazing in teaching me the difference between singleness and being alone and singleness and being lonely.
Sure.
So I'm not lonely in terms of I feel loved. I have love. People love me. But I am alone because I'm not attached to someone.
Sure.
So I think we need to be very careful. I'm alone because I don't have a boyfriend. I don't have a husband. But I'm not lonely because I have community.
Dope.
And if I mess up that, then it's just let's move.
How hard has it been, or easy, to press into those relationships in your community? Has it been hard? Has it been easy? So people who are married, friends who are engaged or dating or whatever you want to call it, other single friends.
So I think it just depends on the season you're in.
Okay.
And there was a season where everybody was getting married, and that was hard because it's just wedding invitation there, wedding invitation there, baby showers, wedding showers, and it's hard to constantly go to them by yourself. And women are going, oh, but my man took me out to Santon yesterday.
Sure.
Oh, my man bought chocolates for me. And oh, my man this and my man that. And they say, so,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I took myself to the movie.
Yeah.
It was pretty dope. It was. We did the things.
Yeah.
I took myself to lunch.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
I read this new book.
Sure.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Sure.
And then the conversation sort of like
It dies down.
It dies down real quickly. So the weather outside is amazing, just amazing, and it becomes awkward.
Yeah.
But I think 5 years ago, where it was back-to-back weddings, friends, sisters, people getting into relationships, cousins starting to date.
Sure.
It was so hard because my cousins who love me kept trying to hook me up and kept saying,
sure. Is that what makes it hard? Like the fact that people are trying to get you into a relationship, or just personally because you have desires to get married, you have desires to be with somebody, and so seeing that in front of you, is that what's crushing you?
No. So 5 years ago, if you had asked me, would I want to get married? The answer would have been no. That is not my portion. That's not what we're doing. And I think in that season, that was good.
Yeah.
It wasn't the being asking friends, family, cousins. I don't think they were doing a bad thing trying to hook me up.
Sure.
I don't think it was a bad thing.
Yeah.
I just felt like in that season, I wasn't ready to introduce someone into my life. I had just gone through a rough season in terms of losing my grandfather, which was hard.
Sure.
And I felt, had I been in a relationship, it would have been even harder because I totally shut down in that season. I mean, I shut down with friends and the church.
Yeah.
Because I think I did 3 months where I'd come to church and literally sit outside.
Wow.
I'd be late to church on purpose so that I don't talk to anyone.
Wow.
And then I'd leave church super early so that nobody can ask, are you okay? What's happening? And in that season, I felt I needed to hang on to Jesus a little bit more. And I felt that's where my definition for lonely and alone came in.
I see.
So that's when God just said, look, I have you. And I need you in this season.
Yeah.
And that was amazing. I would never give up the past 7-6 years of singleness.
Yeah, sure.
Because I feel like I'm such an amazing person now. And yes, I'm going to say that to the world.
Tag.
I was like, I got to boost my own ego. Anyways, because it was such a good season.
Yeah.
And in terms of the desire for marriage, I don't know whether I'm ready for marriage per se, but I feel I've been equipped.
Yeah.
Whether marriage comes, I know I've got women who will stand with me and say,
that's good.
Your husband is a mess.
Sure.
But so are you. So find a way to deal with it.
Yeah.
But there'll be women who will say, I know it's hard to be single, but we have you.
Sure.
And we're going to walk the single journey with you until whenever.
Good. Sure. That's good. And how's your family? So let's get to Zina. Because I hear your cousins trying to hook you up with people, but I'm like, your dad, your mom, your grandmom, your uncles. Because at our age, black families are like,
we're the kids.
We took you to school. That's done. Now
what you
bring
doing?
some more humans to this family. How's that been?
Wow. Okay. So Zina, warrior princess, last year turned 27.
Yeah.
And she bought me a 15-piece pot set.
Hey, if that's not a hint, I don't know.
No, she wasn't that subtle. She came to me and she said, I'm so sick of you being single. I was going to give this to you on your wedding day, but clearly that's not happening. So I'm giving to you now so that you can hurry this process. Where is he? And I remember sitting there going,
that's pause.
Okay. This is awkward.
So you just got pots in your room right now?
I just got pots. Just sitting waiting.
Pots, chilling.
They were just waiting.
In your closet.
Just waiting.
Wow.
And she was insistent. I can't use them until.
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, but okay, fine, don't get married. Let's move out of home.
Wow.
What are you doing? Just do something. So I think for her, it has been the hardest. Because I'm the eldest. Well,
Sure.
I'm not. I have an older sister.
Yeah.
And she's got kids. So I think they compensate her lack of
grandkids.
Yes. It's like, you don't have marriage, but you got grandkids.
Sure.
So it is, I think that at 27, it was very hard for me because of that. I felt extra pressured.
Sure.
And I just remember thinking, man, like, just get out of my face. I don't want, like, what is wrong with all of you? Just stop.
Yeah.
And after she gave me the pots, I sat with my cousin Tlangi. She took me out for my birthday. And I said to her, I mean, I love how you model honesty with me.
Sure.
So I want to be honest with you right now. And we spoke about her boyfriend for some reason, and she's like, are you ready to date? Because that's how every conversation ends. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm in a good place. If someone comes, he comes.
Sure.
If he doesn't, oh well.
Sure.
And then I spent the whole of my 27th year single.
Hey.
And then my family was just like, we're so sick of you. We really, really are. And so I think marriage is such a status symbol.
Yeah.
Because she goes around everywhere. Like, my granddaughter, she's amazing.
Yeah.
She's got a job. She's got a car. She's ready.
Yes.
And then married? Oh, she's not married yet.
That's the big dent.
Yeah, so it's like, then it goes down. She's not married yet.
But
everything else, oh no, she's got a job.
Yeah.
So I think in the last year and a half, she's been really putting a lot of pressure on me. And I've had to really decide, especially when guys hit on me.
Yeah.
I've had to decide my response.
Sure.
Because I don't want to marry a temba. Because my grandmother is saying, find a husband.
Yeah.
So that's been the tricky situation, because it's as if she went and she said, God, this girl is not doing the right thing. So I'm going to pray for her. Because there was a season where it felt as if they were coming.
Bunch of timbers were just rocking up.
And I was like, nope. So I've had to sit them down and tell them that I don't want to pressure myself. I don't want to find myself in a pressure situation where I'm married to someone, because marriage is hard.
Sure.
And you don't want to wake up one day and be like, ish.
Yeah. What did I do?
And I got kids with you.
Yeah. Sure.
So now we're bound together for life.
Yeah.
So it is hard.
Yeah.
But I think because of the era she grew up in, marriage is important.
Yeah. And from your parents?
My dad used to put a lot of pressure on me after varsity.
Okay.
But now it's
sort of like, I'm tired of taking care of you. Go figure yourself out.
Because
nobody dads are like, no, that's my baby girl. You're not going anywhere. Don't tell me about boys.
Well, I think out of the two, he's the more liberal one. So my mom is the strict.
Your mom doesn't want you to leave.
So now the roles are sort of reversed. So he's holding on to me a lot more. And it's weird, because he was the one who's encouraging fly. Go do things, go live, go do the stuff. Now all of a sudden it's like, yo, where you going?
Yeah, exactly.
Stay home. Stay in my nest. And my mom, I think, so she's a divorcee before, so she got divorced with my biological father before she married my dad.
Yes.
Yeah, the English also there does make sense, but you'll understand. So she's very, don't rush into it sort of thing, which is good. And it has been very difficult, because I tried to tell her I'm not rushing into it. I mean, I'm 28.
Yeah.
I feel like not rushing into it is a little late now. I'm literally approaching 30. So just got mixed signals. Get married, but don't rush into it.
Yeah, sure.
So it's weird.
Yeah.
But they don't pressure me as much as I think other single 28 would.
Who are engaged, dating, married?
Yes.
Okay.
So I think for them, just find someone is their thing. Because my aunt is always saying, you don't care. Just introduce someone.
Do they accuse you of being too picky?
So my aunt, my parents, my grandparents don't think that because they understand my love for Jesus.
Yes.
My cousins think I'm too picky because I always tell them I don't want to be fighting about church. I don't want to be fighting about I need to go to life group. I don't want to be fighting about the fact that I need to meet up with friends at church or whatever. Those are not things that I need to fight about. Let's fight about other things.
Sure.
I want a man who loves Jesus.
Yeah.
I don't care if he comes with a 6-pack or not.
Yes.
That's not what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
I need to know, does he love Jesus?
Yeah, that's good.
Will we be together in the word? When I'm falling apart, will he hold my hand and say,
sure,
I'm going to pray for you.
Yeah.
And then I need you to snap out of it.
Sure.
Or will he say, I'm going to pray for you and then I'm going to hold your hand as you go through whatever it is you're going through?
Yeah.
So for them, they think I'm too picky. They think...
you want a pastor. You're not going to find a pastor.
I
want to marry a bishop.
And then it's like, oh, where are you going to get him?
And with everyone's opinion, and people's opinions change anyway. How long have you been single?
So I've been single since I've been 21. Okay. So I'm 28 this year.
7 years.
Quick maths. 7 years.
Yeah. Part 1, the guy we interviewed, also been single for 7 years. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. I'm also doing what people do to you.
Please don't, because I haven't watched part 1 yet.
But in the 7 years, what has God taught you about the gift He's given you, the gift of singleness? How does God see you? Yeah, and from what He's taught you, how have you used it to further His kingdom?
So, I am inherently shy.
Yes.
But a lot of people won't say that because I'm always surrounded by people. So every time I tell people like, yo, I get it. I'm like that. Yes. It's like I put on a mask in people just to cope with how in my face and in my space they are in. And I think being single has helped in a lot of ways model Christ's love.
Sure.
Because I felt like I was when I was my last boyfriend. Yeah. I feel like I had a lot of support when we were dating, but I think I felt what's the word? Okay, I'm gonna go with loved. Yeah. After we broke up. Wow. And I thought that was weird, but wow. It was like a swarm of people enveloped me, and that helped a lot in terms of knowing who I am and then figuring out what I wanted, because I think especially in the first year of singleness it was so hard to figure out where do I sit, where do I fit, because your friends are dating, and then eventually they're gonna get married, and then they start having kids, and then it's a thing. So I felt like kingdom love is what I felt. That's good. Immediately after that, I mean, I have listened to every podcast, read every book, every TED talk on singleness and whatever, but what I think was so amazing was just finding friends who said, you know what? Sure. We got you. We love you.
That's good.
And that was good because I managed to do a lot of things at church. So I participated a lot in church activities. In the beginning, it was just so that I just stayed busy.
Yeah, sure.
But after a while, it was, I like this. Let me do that.
Yeah.
And then the questions of do you need someone sort of dwindled. And situations like focus, for instance, giving back, it was so much easier.
That's good.
When we were doing one-on-ones with the women,
Sure.
I could sit and say, it's okay to break up with that boy. It really is. Life doesn't stop.
Sure.
Trust me, I know. It is gonna hurt like hell.
Yeah.
And you're gonna cry, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But you're gonna wake up the next day, and you gotta keep pushing.
That's good.
And that was, for me, such a beautiful message to be able to share with someone. Because even with my cousins, I'm able to tell them, I'm loved by Jesus. And the fact that I wake up every day, resist the pressure of finding someone because that's what you think my life should be, I think is a beautiful gift.
Sure.
But what we need to remember, in essence, is there are people who are going to be single forever.
Sure. People don't want to hear that, but that's true.
It is.
Yeah.
And I know they do like a lot of statistics. For one guy, there's like 3 women or something stupid like that.
Now.
You see what I mean? So it is impossible to say, or it is impossible for me to sit and to say to the single lady who's been single for maybe longer than me or a shorter period than me that you will find someone.
Sure.
And that, I think, is the message God has just literally had to make me understand over and over again. There will be women and men who will be single until they go back to meet Jesus.
Yeah.
But there will be men and women who will be single 10, 15, 20 years.
Sure.
And find someone.
Sure.
And I think the fact that we don't want to talk about singleness in that form is what is so sad. Because we put so much pressure on it. And you gotta find someone.
Yeah.
But what if I'm not destined to find someone?
Sure.
Then what happens?
Yeah.
So
it's an idolatry of marriage.
I think it's also just an African thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in the African context, we idolize marriage,
and we, for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
And it's such a painful thing.
Yeah.
So I think for me, God has just worked in a way that I can say to friends at work, I've never seen anyone drop dead because of singleness.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
the day
Yeah.
I hear it reported
that somebody died because they're single,
then I'll make it
You'll
top priority to find someone. Until then, let's just live life with Jesus.
Amen. I think that's good. Somebody who's watching this, a single lady, what would be your final word of encouragement to them?
First of all, family is amazing.
Sure.
But the advice is not necessarily the be all and end all.
Yeah, it's not ultimate. Yeah.
It's okay to disregard their opinions of things.
Sure.
Just like my mom, you pressure me the one time, then you say no the other time.
Yeah, sure.
So opinions of people are exactly that, opinions of people.
Yeah. If it has nothing to do with God,
don't do that.
Yeah, sure.
Number 2, there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of relationship experts.
Yes.
Christian you go to bookstores, and even in the Christian bookstores, there's a whole array of just relationships. How to be single, how to find a man during your singleness, how to stay pure dating with a man, how do you get married, how do you have kids, then divorcing as a Christian. And that's the same author. giving you 7 different books.
So, yeah.
There are so many people who are going to throw the book of Singleness at you.
Sure.
Be careful what you consume.
Sure, it's good.
It's very important. They are just be careful what you consume.
Yeah.
Thirdly, I think as someone who works in television, I know how fake certain things are. Don't idolize someone's relationship on Instagram.
Sure. That's good.
And I think as single people, that's what hurts us the most. Because you're like, ooh, love lives here. Double tap. Ooh, matter like one of their baby. They got it all together. Double tap.
Yeah.
And then you start yearning and aching for something that's not yours.
Yeah.
And it becomes your whole world.
Sure.
Instagram is not real, guys.
Yeah.
That's filters.
Yeah.
And fake messages.
Sure.
Don't do that to yourself.
No.
But this is the last one. Keep rooted in the church.
Amen.
I think what helped me in my singleness, or in the journey I'm taking in this singleness, whatever, is the church.
Amen.
And the church includes the single ladies, the single brothers, but it also includes the situationship ladies. The we dating, but we really not gonna define this, brothers. And the we're together. He just doesn't know it yet. Couples. And it includes the we engaged, we married, we're about to get a divorce.
Sure.
I've lost my husband.
Yeah.
That's your community.
Amen.
And I think the moment you lose sight of that and you're focusing on woe is me, I'm just so single, life is so horrible, is when you get into things that will ultimately harm you.
Sure. Thank you for that, man. I really appreciate it. Hopefully it was helpful for you guys. Part 2 of our singleness conversation. Again, if you haven't checked out part 1, go check it out. You don't have to watch them in sequence. You can watch this one first. Go check the other one out. But yeah, thank you again. Go check out all our other content on the website, and follow us on all social media, and watch all the other podcasts that we put out from us. Grace and peace. Thanks, Nyaleti, for joining us.
Welcome. We're still doing the single thing.
Yeah, the group. You'll follow her. We're not in charge. All right, cheers.